Hey everybody, Coach Adam here. Hope everybody's having a great Monday, and hopefully everybody enjoyed going over to the Dockhound Stadium yesterday and seeing a little bit of what baseball is like very soon here when we get outdoors. What a nice field they have over there, and maybe it's something that we take a look at in the summer where maybe we could have a team event. I did talk to the coordinator about maybe making that a possibility. So we got some things we'll talk about with those folks over there at the Dockhounds because I really enjoyed that time there. I think the kids really enjoyed having a field trip of sorts for practice, and hopefully they enjoyed themselves. They did very well. They got a lot of time in the cage. They got a lot of swings, a lot of throws. So all things considered, I thought it was a really good practice. And we'll be back there again in 2 weeks on the 16th, 15th, whatever Sunday that is in 2 weeks. We'll be back for another session over there in Oconomowoc. Spring is close. It is March, and that is exciting. We take a look at what we've done in January and February, and we've done a lot of things indoors. I know everyone's itching to get outside. I certainly am as well. One of the things that we want to try to do now is anytime we have a nice day, let's get the kids outside, throwing the ball, hitting the ball, whatever we can. I'm sure that they will. We'll see how March turns out, though. It can be kind of cold. It can be kind of wintry. It could be kind of wet. So, we'll see how March unfolds. But only a month away from our first scrimmage outside. And please, Mother Nature, help us out a little bit. I'm getting excited, but I want to temper expectations with the weather. So I just got a few notes here to go over in this video that I think are important to talk about right now. But before I do, there will be a very important video that comes out next month when we get closer to game time, because I want to express what the expectations are from not only the players, but the parents as well, and also the coaches. So we'll talk a little bit about team structure, rosters, lineups, that kind of stuff. Next month, I want to make that its own video. I think it's important to kind of separate that from just updates. And although that's important, I'm going to hold off on that as we get a little bit closer to game time. But that will be something I will also send out for all of you. Let's take a very quick look back at some important things that we got accomplished, because there's been a whirlwind of things lately. Uniforms. We got the uniforms in. I think everybody sized their player up. I think everything fits. If there's something that doesn't fit right, let me know. I know that Berghart's does a really good job of exchanges with the pants, the socks. So let me know if that's something that interests you. I think they can just take you as a walk-in. You can get a different size. But all in all, uniforms, I think, are pretty much done. And hopefully everything's working out for your player. Last thing about uniforms is that we will have that orange Stonemen uniform that I'm very excited about. That's still in the works. That could be actually done by the end of this week, but I will have it, pass it out once that is completed. Pictures, they're done. Yay! I know it's kind of a fire drill trying to get all the kids there and in line and have your papers filled out and the order forms, all that stuff. I think it went pretty well. Hopefully the pictures will turn out very well for you. If there's any questions with orders or you didn't get a certain picture, let me know when that comes to be. I'll talk with Scott Anderson, who's the coordinator for that, who does a good job for our photos. He's one of the Stonemen coaches, so I will get in touch with him if anything is amiss. The schedule is done. I'm very proud to announce that our game schedule is complete. We are going to play right around 30 games this year, not including scrimmages, but 30 actual games. Some will be non-conference games. The majority, though, will be conference or league games that we will play in WSYBL. And then we have the 4 tournaments that we are also a part of. Those tournament games are scored, but they are not part of our league play. That is completely separate. So those games do count as games, but in a greater sense, they're the tournaments themselves. Okay, so I'm very happy that the schedule is done. I have all those games placed into Crossbar, so all of you should have that. If you have the 2025 calendar at home and you want to place those games in, go right ahead. I will, though, take a double check on away games to make sure that the fields that we signed up for are the actual fields that we will be playing. I've already had a couple coaches reach out to me and say, hey, it's not going to be field 2, it's going to be field 7, across the street. So if there's a change with location especially, I will let you guys know, and you'll see an update in Crossbar to a change on that certain game date. Want to let everybody know, if you don't already, about the Game Changer app. Game Changer is the application that we will use to score all of our games. And it's been a great success. I've used it as a player. I've now used it as a coach for a few seasons. It's a really good way to keep track of stats, but also our pitching limits, how many pitches our pitchers have thrown that day, and all of you can follow the team. So if you haven't yet, go and download the Game Changer app and set yourself up. You can become a fan of our team as well as the other Stonemen teams that are a part of our organization. They're all in Game Changer. Just search U9 Graves Stonemen and that should pop up for you. Become a fan of the team, and I will also help anybody that needs help with setting that up. With that, if anybody is interested, I'm looking for help to stream games this year, and I'd like to stream all the games if I can. I know it's difficult because I do have to use someone else's phone, so you're going to have to give up a phone to get those streaming services up in Game Changer. And basically what it is you have your phone up on the backstop, running video for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it just watches the game. Once the game is over, it uploads to Game Changer, and then everybody can watch highlights of the game. It's like you're just watching, from afar and being there. And I know parents that maybe can't make the game but want to watch the stream of the game. That's been something people really enjoy. So if you're interested in streaming the games for us this year, I could really use the help. John Schneider last year helped us out a few of the games, and we really appreciate that. I know John can't make all the games, though, so I'm looking for some help. So please let me know. Kind of bringing in great segue to my next topic about not being able to be at games, and just want to talk about my work travel because it is significant at times and can impact the season. So I've been lucky the last, I would say, 6-7 months. I haven't had to travel all that much, but I have had to travel a week here, a week there. And I try to space that out so that it's not affecting our games during the season. And I was able to do that pretty effectively last year. However, the chance that I do have to miss a full week because work travel is sending me to California or Texas or wherever I'm going to be, that can happen. And I want to let you guys know that I will always communicate if I'm going to be out, and to let you also know that Coach David would be my backup directly after me not being there. He would set up the game. He would have all the equipment. He'd get the team ready. He'd exchange rosters for the game, all of that great stuff. So the great thing about having awesome assistant coaches is that when the head coach is not available, they're able to step in and really help out. So I really appreciate that. And Coach David is more than willing to do that for us. My work travel, though, sometimes can be a little bit, I guess it really can be, for myself, difficult because I could be in 2 time zones early, or, even on the East Coast an hour late and things like that. So, getting you information when I'm out sometimes is at a different hour than you're used to. And I've been trying to do that even when I was in Kansas last week, making sure that you guys knew about Picture Day, knew about the Dock Hounds Day. So that being said, in a nutshell, if you guys ever need to reach out to me and I'm out of state, please just send away. If I don't respond right away, it's, again, time zone issues, or that I'm flying. So, that being said, I'll be in communication with you anytime I'll be out, and hopefully I won't be out too many games this year I think I only missed one game for sure last year I missed. But we have a handful of tournaments I really want to be home for. So I got to take a look at my schedule coming up in the summer, and I will make sure to do the best that I can to be there. Let's just do a really quick team update on some of the things we're working on. All the kids are doing a great job. I'm very pleased. I think the assistant coaches could also say the same thing. We are seeing rapid improvement on a lot of areas. We're talking about the way that we hit the ball. Our glove work, our throwing has just increased to let's say a level 5 to a level 9 in a short time, and that's in about a month's work leading up to right about now. And the way that I see it is that repetition in the things that we're doing in practice has that benefit to getting better. If you don't do something for a week or 2 weeks, it's easy to forget about what we did 2 weeks ago. So my practice plans have always been, hey, we're going to revisit that thing that you learned on Friday the very next week and at least touch on it so that it's not forgotten about. And I think that's really what has brought the kids up in their understanding of what we're doing, and then the retention really of what we're doing so they remember what to do. And that's huge at this level. We know the kids can get squirrely. They, like to have fun, and it's funny games sometimes, but the learning aspect and then the doing of what you learn is so important if we want to get better. And I want all of our kids to get better because we want them all to be successful. With our pitching, we've been doing a lot of bullpen work. So they're getting a lot of work with our catchers, and our catchers have been doing an awesome job working with our pitchers. That's going to be a key element of this season, making sure that our pitchers are, comfortable on the mound. They're able to throw strikes, and that's one of the pitching emphases to be around the zone. Our umpires in our league are going to be generous. So if you're a half foot or even a foot in some cases off the corner, they're going to call that a strike. And so our pitchers have that in their minds now to be around the strike zone. You don't have to throw a perfect pitch every time, but let's be around the zone. Let's not make it difficult or harder on our catchers to have to catch balls above their heads or blocking balls in the dirt all the time. So let's make sure that we're getting it there, and they're doing a really good job of that. Now, the flip side of that is with our hitting, and the emphasis that we have had is to be aggressive and to also swing hard. If you think about what I just said, having that generous zone on both sides of the plate, their tendencies, the umpires' tendencies are to keep those strikes, okay? So wide zones. I would say if you take a baseball and sit it on the corner of the plate, okay, up until that edge of the baseball, that's going to be their zone. So again, it's going to be about a half foot to a foot on both sides that they will call a strike to. And they do tell us that before the game. So they do want kids swinging the bat. They don't want walks all game long. Knowing this, I've told our hitters, let's be aggressive. Let's be selectively aggressive. We don't want to be swinging up here. We don't want to be swinging at things in the dirt, obviously. But if there's a pitch that you like and you think you can handle, wail on it, swing hard. Let's put the pressure on the defense to get you out. And I think that that's going to be something that is going to be a benefit to our team because we do have some very naturally aggressive hitters on our team, and they are swinging hard. We want to make sure, though, that the swinging hard aspect of our game is in control. Okay, so we're not, recklessly swinging at anything that comes to us, and we don't lose sight of where our hands are. We're not coming up here and maybe doing tomahawks or anything like that. And I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying when you see a pitch come in that you can handle, let's certainly take action on it and hit it hard wherever you may hit it into the infield or outfield. Just a couple other updates real quick. WSYBL, the league that we play in, has this rule that there's more of an emphasis on it this year because it did affect teams last year when they didn't have substitution of players. And really what it comes down to is situations where a forfeit could be coming in. Now, I know families go away on vacation. They'll go, up north in the summer, go fishing, camping. Please go do it. Family time is very important. I want to do it. I want to get on the water, and my fishing time is very important to me. Okay, you can see the stuff probably on the walls here. I got fishing stuff, a lot of baseball stuff, and a lot of fishing stuff in here too. But that being said, the league wants to limit forfeits and get these games in as much as possible, and that's why we have a sub rule. So the sub rule is that you can have up to 2 players on your roster who will act as substitutes when your team is in danger of a forfeit. Now, I say up to 2. We already have 1, and that's going to be William's brother, Franklin, who will be practicing with us. He's been with us a couple weeks already, and he will be one of our subs this year. Now, he's not a regular rostered player, but in times when we need him, his parents have graciously allowed him to come aboard and play, and it's awesome that he would have the chance to play with his brother. So, and the rule is that you can play up in your level. You cannot play down in your level. So a U9 player cannot sub at a U8, and I think we would understand why that would be. But a U8 player, which Franklin is, can play up in U9. And again, we welcome him. We want to make sure that we understand that that's the rule. And in times when we need a player, we'll have him if he's available. The other thing about WSYBL real quick is that our divisions have been set. We are in, I would say, a very competitive division. We have set divisions within WSYBL in U9. So there's an A division, a B division, and a C division. We are in the B division, and there are 2 conferences, if you will, in that division. So, being that we have 2 U9 Stonemen teams, Joe Domosk's team is in the other conference within the B division of U9. We will play an array of teams within our division, including some A teams. So I know that parents have asked me, what's the difference between A and B and C and that kind of stuff. The real situation here is that it's coach preference. It's coach preference to say, I think my team's at an A level, meaning that their competitiveness is at the highest tier that it could be. They play in those A only allowable tournaments of the best teams. A lot of the academy teams are A level. But that's not to say that we can't play with them, and we certainly did last year. So we will be facing some A teams. And the reason for that is there's only 5 of them. So if they only played each other, they would play each other about 6 times a year, right? Like, that's just not fun. And so they play some of the B teams play the A teams. And I'm excited to play them and see the competition, and I think everything will be just fine. But if you have any questions about divisions and teams and stuff, just reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to talk with you about that. Last 2 things, and then we're going to wrap this up. Parent support has been awesome. Thank you so much for your questions. One of the hardest things, I think, to be a parent and have your son in sports or any activity that your kids do is entrust the coaches with what they're learning, their demeanor with their kids, just having fun with them, making sure they're having a good time. And hopefully I have done that to this part of the season, and folks that have come in from last year over, you guys kind of know how we work things, you know how I coach, you know how I am. And so thank you for everybody to entrusting me in coaching your kids and teaching them a little bit more about baseball than maybe they would have gotten in Little League or somewhere else. So I'm really happy to do that. It's kind of like a calling for me. As a player, I've played the game over 30 years. Now I have that opportunity to coach my son, and it's something that I cherish greatly, and I love doing, and I want to share that knowledge with our Stonemen players. So thank you for that support, and it really does make a world of difference to me. The other thing I want to just quickly talk about is our assistant coaches. I just love working with our assistant coaches. They are just a blast to work with and talk to. They also bring a lot of knowledge, respectively, to the game. And so if you do see them at practice, please thank them. They're putting the time in, just like I am, to be there at practice. They're throwing batting practice. They're catching our pitchers. They're hitting ground balls. They're instructing. So, I couldn't do it alone. And these guys have done it all fall and all winter. And so I want to say thank you to them. And please, if you do see them, thank them as well, because they are putting in the time. And they do it because they love the game and they love to teach too. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up. I will place another video, like I said, next month when we get a little bit closer to game time. We are, like I said, about a month away from our scrimmage. Hopefully Mother Nature will, play nice, let's say. So we'll see how all things go. And I'll give you guys an update on the field status and things like that when we get a little bit closer to outside practices, which would begin in April. But we are at the mercy of the village of Lannon to allow us time on the field, and we can't actually get on those fields until they say so. So when they open those fields, I'll be ready and raring to get on them. So that being said, more updates coming soon. I hope you all have a great week. Kids, have a great week at school. We'll see you at practice on Friday. Coach Adam, out.